This is News 6 Tonight. Hey, welcome to News 6 Tonight. Glad to have you with us, man. It has been a busy day here in the News 6 newsroom. One thing to the next. I have somebody I have to kill pretty soon.
I had to fix my face, as my mom would say, because I caught myself. We just got some news. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you know what sucks?
A tease. And
when somebody
like,
gives you news right as you're
and
about
you're
to go
on.
into. Just give you a little tease. But
wow.
what other thing is interesting is this cold snap that is upon us and that is going to be here for a minute. It's going to be like that family member who just won't leave.
They start to get irritating after 3 days. They say like fish and family members should never stay around longer than 3 days. Yeah, exactly. True. Well, this cold weather, we haven't seen the likes of this since 2010, according to our meteorologist, Jonathan Kegas. And to prove it, I love to take a Florida gauge of how cold things are, and a sign of how cold things are. And when you start to see these big potatoes huddling in the springs, the manatees.
The baked potatoes. I think some people get offended when you call them baked potatoes.
No, look at them. Look, what do those look like?
They do. Oh, I know. I totally agree. They look like baked potatoes.
Okay, why would people be offended? I'm not making your mama jokes. I'm just saying they look they're sweet, they're friendly, and we were hoping to see twins out there today, like little pups, I think is what they call the little babies. But look how many people are out there, because the spring is a steady 72 degrees. But you can tell that it's getting colder by the number of manatees out there.
Have you ever tried to go on a day when it's cold and it's a weekend day?
No.
Today probably wasn't so bad. The line goes so far. You have to wait for a really long time to get in because everybody wants to go see them. Yeah,
it's a really popular place, and this is why I really do. I love sea cows. I think they're precious, they're sweet, and this is one gauge of how many there are in there to tell you how cold it's going to get, because almost everywhere right now is under a freeze warning tonight and then moving forward because we are so cold. And, we're in store of this near freezing to freezing temperatures for the better part of this week and going into the weekend. And first responders, we forget sometimes, we call on these people to save us in the worst times, and it doesn't matter. They don't say we can't come because it's cold. They have
We're
to come.
For that.
Yeah, I am very thankful. So our community correspondent Mark Lehman takes a look at how they get ready for this.
Lieutenant Dave Williams' crew at Station 36 is expecting things to get busy over the next week. With a prolonged cold snap in the forecast, there will likely be more calls for people exposed to the frigid temps.
We look at pediatrics and elderly patients, or those who, like the homeless, who are outside for extended periods of time. Even though it's Central Florida, we do have issues with hypothermia here.
Firefighters are also bracing to respond to heater-related issues at homes.
It literally burns that dust off, so that's why you have that heating smell. So we do get a lot of those calls initially. After the first, second, third day, it starts dwindling down. But as far as active fires, we'll see a little bit of an increase, but not drastic.
Many of those fires will be because of space heaters.
If residents are going to use space heaters, just remember 3 feet away from any objects. Don't use an extension cord. If you're using an extension cord for a space heater, you're using it in the wrong space.
In this time of year, Williams reminds homeowners to check their smoke detectors.
It's very important that you have working detectors. The recommendation is replace them every 10 years. Whenever we have a time change, every 6 months, change your batteries.
And the reason stories like this one is so important, because people don't always remember to do the basic stuff because we get busy with life. And sometimes we're like, do we really need to tell people not to put a space heater up near a wall or something flammable? Do we really need to remind people to change the batteries in their smoke detector?
To not use a generator indoors after a hurricane?
The answer is yes. And I don't mind doing it, because if one person hears it for the first time and they didn't know that, then they needed to know, so it saved somebody. Yeah. Possibly a family.
Right, there you go. We put it out there. Stay warm. Good luck. It's going to be chilly, especially Thursday. Well, how about this next one? We have some crazy video of you that'll make you a little enraged as a parent, possibly.
I was angry. I'm not a parent, but I'm angry.
Let's put this video up of this guy who...
Doing 106, baby. It's Mr. Johnson, so I know him.
It's Mr. Johnson, all right? So they knew this guy was racing around. This is Marion County Sheriff's Office posted video of deputy spotting a motorcycle. He's going 106 miles an hour in a 45. This happened Saturday. The deputy turns his lights and says, look closely. We put it big for you so you can see. There's a small human on the back of that. So he was going 106 with his kid on the back of that motorcycle. And so they finally get him to pull over. Let's hear what he has to say.
Come on, man. Why are we doing this? With a kid in the back of this bike.
Yeah, so you see the guy and his reason for doing this. He goes, I was having a mechanical issue with the bike, so I was just kind of testing her out.
Well, if it's not working, it's really going to fail and hurt at that speed.
Maybe the mechanical issue was with the speedometer, and he didn't know how fast
it's not working.
He was going. So the kid's been blurred out. Obviously, it's not the kid's fault being strapped to the back of his dad on a motorcycle, but pretty crazy. So his name's David Johnson. When he stopped, they did have that question about him. He blamed it on mechanical issues, but he was clocked at 106. He will be facing that super speeder going over 100 miles an hour law. Johnson was charged with child neglect and the super speeder law. So
I'm just glad that the kid was wearing a helmet, first of all, but at that speed, nothing
yeah, it
is
doesn't
really
matter.
Gonna,
you could be wearing
really
an airbag on yourself and you wouldn't survive a crash.
It's just frustrating because you
106.
feel sad for that child, and they're probably just like, I trust my dad.
Yeah, he was
He's
probably
not
having a
gonna put me
great
in
time.
danger.
But
Yeah, I guess so.
dangerous
but
stuff.
Still dangerous. All right, moving on to another story. We talked about a NASA plane like having a hard landing. We said crash, but it landed on its belly, and it looks like it's mostly intact. This happened in Houston at the airfield there. It's Ellington Airfield, and this is from our station in Houston. And you can see there, you pointed out earlier today, it looks like no landing gear came out of this thing.
Yeah,
but this
it
is
landed on
a
its belly.
NASA WB-57. It's described as a high-altitude research plane, and it can do extended periods of time without landing. It's not one of those where, have you heard of these crafts that can go for years and it stays in orbit? And
Are those the ones that have like solar arrays on them?
It has to have something to power it, right? And it could stay, in flight for a long, long time. These don't do that, but they can go up to like 63,000 feet in the air, which is close to space.
Yeah,
Because our cruising altitude for a lot of commercial airliners for long distance, very long distance flights, 40,000 feet. Just to kind of give you some perspective.
I usually hear
on
30,
that.
35, I think,
Yeah,
is normal
yeah.
too, that same range.
So it's designed to carry scientific payloads, and typically there are two people on board. The good news here is that anybody who was on board is okay, and they're still trying to. They probably know what went wrong. They haven't shared that with us because also
they don't
NASA.
tell us a lot about these
They don't
planes.
need to tell us anything.
Because they can go, at that height, if they can get above 63,000, I think it's a little difficult for other governments to track them. How old would you guess? How long would you guess they've been using this particular plane to do research?
Oh, like 40 years.
Yeah, okay, so I know, I can't stump you on a NASA question. She's
know
a
you were
total
gonna ask me that
space nerd. But early 1970s, they've been flying this thing around, so pretty fascinating that they have those capabilities.
You build it once, you build it right, you don't have to do it again. Do it right the first time. That's what they do.
I guess so too. We just don't build stuff the way we.
Okay, old man, get off my porch. Get off my lawn. They don't build stuff like that.
Well, obviously, maybe it's time for an update because it just crashed. All right, let's talk about something new in the form of a way to maybe protect college kids. Way to step up that is what state reps are saying. So the House Judiciary Committee unanimously approved a new bill that allows for guardians. You know how we had that whole thing after, especially Parkland, that took place down near Miami in South Florida. They added these school guardians to where someone inside the school could carry a concealed weapon. They could get a bunch of training. It's a significant amount of training. That way, if something ever happened, they could assist the SROs, the school resource
They're
officers.
right there.
And it could be maybe a teacher or somebody who would have like a locked gun. So they put those into place. Schools have them. We don't hear a lot about that program anymore.
No, people were upset though because they're like, "What if a student gets a hold of
They
a
didn't
gun?"
want more guns on school property. Yeah, that was the backlash that we saw. So they want to add these to college campuses. They're specifically citing the shooting that took place at Florida State University, which I went up and covered, that happened last year. And it was a scary incident because it happened right in a place where all the kids gather and they eat. And
near the food
they have
courtyard
lunch.
or
Yeah, it's basically where everybody eats. And so they're thinking, hey, maybe we have a situation here where, because these schools like UCF has their own police department, Florida State has FSU PD. Maybe this could help. So let's listen in to a state rep for his reasoning behind adding this.
And that this is now all too common of a story. And that we here in Florida, if we're the ones that are taking a step in creating uniformity in this, because it can happen anywhere at any time, I'm proud of that.
Details on this, it would basically involve employees who have those concealed weapons licenses being able to carry guns on campus. They also would take steps like having active assailant response plans that would include being able to issue these campus-wide alerts, certifying faculty, staff, and students annually receive training to prepare for these assailants. It is a dicier situation than a lot of people realize, because if you have other people who are not in a uniform carrying guns and firing shots in a college campus that's very busy, that obviously you don't want more bullets flying around.
Sure.
People fear that. Also, when law enforcement arrives,
How do
could
they
think
know?
if you're dressed like
How
a
do they
normal
know?
person, like
Yeah.
a teacher in a polo shirt, they might think that you are the active shooter. So they need to have a lot of training built into this program, but it still has to pass. It hasn't been voted on yet.
Yeah, but that last thing is I think the really big fly in the ointment. When they arrive on scene, there are so many emotions, and they're trained to deal with all of that. But if you're dressed like one of the students because you want to fit in and assimilate, how would they know you're not the person they're looking for?
Yeah,
and that's kind of scary.
And that shooting at Florida State, it was haunting.
Yeah.
I remember one of the things when I covered there, I was walking around just around the building, and I could see a shoe. It was a female shoe at the top of the steps, and then there was another one at the bottom of the steps. People were ran out of their shoes, and they hadn't come back to get them. It was a devastating situation.
Kind of where we are these days. All right, someplace where we are also these days is we have tried to get recreational marijuana on the ballot for a while.
Not we, but yes.
Not me personally. But it's one of those things where you see it every few years or whatever, and then it fails, and then you wonder what happens in other states.
People like John Morgan have pushed
for
it.
Yeah. So we know that you are talking about this online on clickorlando.com. That means our guy DJ has been looking at some of your comments and also talking about this. DJ, you got your light ready tonight, man? And your mic, your light and your mic.
Very dramatic.
Oh, it's so dramatic.
We got everything ready to go here. It just takes a minute to get it.
I'm like, is he going to walk
fired
off?
up.
So you have been analyzing our social media pages to try to figure out what people are talking about. As you take the pulse of Central Florida, what are they saying about this whole recreational marijuana deal?
Well, at the last I looked, there was like 250,000 views. A lot of people had seen this post.
Was that on Facebook? YouTube?
That's on Facebook. Actually, we do have. Should I just play the? You want me to? Let's play this.
Can you do it?
Yep. Let's go for it. One second.
Could recreational marijuana ever become legal in Florida? This is the post right here that has everybody talking. About 250,000 views and hundreds of comments. It links to this article at clickorlando.com that says recreational marijuana could go to Florida voters again this year. And not surprising, there are a lot of different opinions on this one. Tim says, it should be legal. Helped my wife a ton with her cancer and autoimmune. Michael says, allow personal cultivation and I'll vote for it. Otherwise, it's just a way for the dispensaries to get rich and you'll not get my vote. Scott says, it's already a no without a personal grow option. Karen says, people can't think and drive straight now. This is all we need. Diane says, nope, I hate the smell of it. It's bad enough everyone and their mom is smoking it. Kids come to school smelling like it. Anthony says, please no, it'll smell the whole state. It's all you smell when you drive around town already. Christopher says, legalize it, create job protection as well. Travis says, it's 2026. No one cares if it's legal or not. It's still going to get smoked. So what do you think? Is this the year? You can scan that QR code. It'll take you right to the post where you can join the conversation, leave a comment. What do you think? And you'll also find a link to the article if you want to read more about what could happen this year.
Still going to get smoked.
Still gonna get smoked. Well, that's kind of the. Make sure I'm unmuted here. That's kind of there's like three things, if I remember correctly. There's the people who like, we want to be able to grow this ourselves. A lot of those comments. So they're basically like, we're voting no until that gets added. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are like, no, it smells terrible, and we go everywhere we go, we can smell this, and then. I don't remember what the third one was now.
Those are interesting points, though, and I think that's one of the reasons that this hasn't passed yet is
But
because
have you
in
ever-
previous iterations, they don't allow you to grow it yourself.
Yeah.
And people are saying, why do
Why
I
would-
have to pay a company if you're going to allow this?
Correct.
To do this. And so it seems like a money grab.
But have you ever been to a place where it is legal?
Yeah, it stinks. And people smoke it all day.
Everywhere.
I went to Canada with my family. It was 9:45 a.m. walking down downtown Vancouver.
Somebody's glaucoma was
and
acting
this
up.
guy was really, he was going after that glaucoma hard with the vape pen. And it was like, man, like, you could smell it down
Yeah.
the block. So
Yeah.
I understand people's reservations when it comes to that.
Yeah. And I want people who really need it to have it, but it's
Which they should now.
Of course,
Right.
but still, just taking that in, if you're just trying to go for a stroll or whatever and get some fresh air, it's not so fresh out there sometimes. But,
Yeah. But
we'll
like the
figure it out.
one viewer said, people are smoking it anyway.
Doesn't matter.
What, they're doing it recreational, that's for sure.
All right.
DJ, thank you for that update.
Appreciate it. Okay, now to a story that really had a lot of people upset, and by a lot of people, I mean me.
Yeah, you had to turn your head when we showed this dog on TV.
Well,
right?
okay, several times for different dogs because that's, I love the canines. They're very sweet.
Yes.
But it's frustrating if you're trying to keep your pet safe and do all the right things. This happened in, I think this was Miami. So a 10-year-old in Miami got a little teacup Yorkie for Christmas. Teacup?
Oh, yeah.
That's how, look.
Tiny.
My gosh, I want to
Adorable
take
little
it. I understand why he took it, but this is a pizza delivery guy. He
Inside a building.
inside a high rise where people live. So there are stray dogs just don't go in like, hey, this looks like a nice floor and just start roaming, right?
Right.
So this guy, he delivers a pizza. He sees this cute little thing, scoops it up, and is like, oh, you must be homeless. No, he isn't. Just try to find out where he belongs. Okay, but he did the right thing. After he saw himself on surveillance.
Yeah, I mean, come on now.
And people were
You're giving him a little too much credit. You're like, he thought it was a lost dog in the hallway of this building.
We have some sound with this story. Let's just listen.
I just ran downstairs, and the guy was there. He's like, "Look, I'm really sorry. I didn't know that the dog was yours, and I wanted to take it from my daughter."
Look at that thing.
Yeah, I wanted to take it for my own daughter from
guess.
your daughter.
It's terrible.
So pretty wild situation. When we have these stories all the time where people just see a dog and they're like, "Hey, I'm just going to grab this dog as if it's a spare piece of gum."
I mean, I know, but have I found myself looking for stray dogs on the street? I absolutely have. But you take them, you see if they're chipped, and then you keep them if they're not
Do
chipped.
you look for stray dogs indoors at an apartment complex
I don't
in a
want
hallway?
someone looking for stray dogs in my house.
Here's the thing: the dog wasn't going to get out.
No.
It wasn't going to take the elevator down, right?
One, it's too tiny
So
to reach the button.
If you just leave it alone, the people will get their dog.
Let it
back.
live its life.
That was
and
a
it's
theft.
cushy high rise in Miami.
Then he happens to see himself on the news.
Oops.
Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know this belonged to anybody. Thought it just hatched in the
Oh,
hallway
boy.
there.
Okay.
All right, one more crazy animal story before we let you go. In Florida, deputies called to a home in Lakeland by a lady. I guess she was home alone, and she said, look, there's this. She described it as huge and big. All right?
Wow, that's what she said.
It was a frog under her couch. She called in and said, I am deathly afraid of these frogs.
Yeah.
To the deputy's surprise, there was not one, but two, and they actually were huge and
Okay.
big frogs
Can
under
we
the
see 'em?
couch.
Do we have pictures
Yeah,
of the
do we,
frogs?
is this, okay, here we go. All right. I mean, I wouldn't say
It's not
huge and
prince
big.
size.
But-
It's not going to turn into a prince. Like
But I'm surprised that they would announce this on social media, that they would come and just do household chores for you if you need
I
it.
have a spider. I don't like spiders. I don't like frogs. Now I know I can call them to come get it.
Yeah. I mean, one time we had mice in the Austin house. They got in somehow.
Did you figure it out?
And I figured it out. I had to handle
I
them.
know this story.
Yeah, no, we can't.
let's
I can't
not
get
say-
into this.
No, we
You'll
can't
never
tell this
look at me the
story.
same. I had a dispatch of these mice.
He's a
But my
murderer.
wife,
A mouse murderer.
yeah, get some mouse in your house. I would have just released it into your home had I known.
Okay, let's not start a children's book and get a mouse in your house and let Matt handle it.
Yeah, I'll take care of it for you.
Well, yeah, well, I
new
understand. Those
business.
the frogs are, they're not exactly cuddly. It's not a puppy. Nobody's stealing those.
This is true. Yes. So don't steal your neighbors' dogs, but you can steal their frogs. That is what you should remember
Thanks
tonight.
for joining us,
May 6th
everybody.
tonight.
Bye.
Have a good one.